Hello everyone. 10-point plan for LinkedIn success without letting LinkedIn take over your life. Really important. Every good presentation starts with a story. Mine started, actually, great timing, nearly a year ago to the day, when I became a dad for the first time. So that's me. I'm wearing the same t-shirt, so oh god. That's me. It's actually a new one. I brought this one the other week. That is my wife Laura. So I'm Ryan, that's Laura. We put our names together and we made Lyara, and she was born 23rd of July 2023. During that time I was obviously on paternity leave. I was working in-house as a social media manager for a law firm. I was training lawyers on how to use LinkedIn. So I trained about 600 lawyers on how to use LinkedIn, and I managed the company's LinkedIn page and Instagram as well. I was loving it, enjoyed my job, I thought it was great. And then on the 11th of October, I received this. I had this handed to me, confirmation of redundancy. My wife's on maternity leave. What was Lyara? She was 3.5 months old, less than 3 months old, 2.5 months old she was at the time. Shit, redundancy, a lot going on, or not. This was my face when I was handed that redundancy notice, because rewind before the July, in the January 2023, so Lyara was obviously still inside Laura, still growing. I had a little bit of a vision. I think what most people do when they're starting their own business, they're not really sure what they want to do. I was like, okay, so I set the business up in January 2023 with a little bit of a vision, but I wanted to work there eventually. I didn't know when it was going to happen, but eventually. But I had no clients. You don't set up a limited company immediately have clients, as we all know. But 2 days after I set up the limited company, I posted on LinkedIn with intent for the first time. So I might have been a social media manager and have been for over 10 years, but my personal social media, just like many of you, probably with your personal social media when it comes to business, it took a back seat. I was posting probably over 50 assets a month for a company, but none for myself. But I posted this on 2 days after setting the limited company up, so that I was going to walk the walk essentially, and what I'd been teaching all those lawyers, I was going to do myself. Not necessarily with a solid aim, it was just to really grow a network and get to know more people, get more people to know me. But I still had no clients at that point, no contracted, retained clients, should we say. Exactly a year after that first post, so from the January, I'd obviously been made redundant in July, I'd obviously become a dad. 15th of January 2024, after posting for a year solidly, you can see where Lyara was born. I am human, I stopped posting, naturally, but I'd been seen nearly 100,000 times on LinkedIn, 2,500 engagements. Obviously these are just numbers, but we'll run through them. My followers, my network had grew to 832. It started at about 450. Okay, that means nothing, it's just numbers. What that mean for business? I'd had 23 meetings since being made redundant from January 2024. I'd sent 14 proposals from those meetings. From those 14 proposals, I had 8 new clients. The diary was full for 4.5 days. I definitely work more than 4.5 days now, but it was technically full for 4.5 days. The bills, importantly, were being paid, and food was on the table. And there is Lyara enjoying her first ever bolognese. Clearly she enjoyed it. And all of that was through LinkedIn. I've never used any other channel for my business, for marketing. Existing relationships that I already had for my 10 years as a social media manager knew I was now available. The new relationships that I'd built knew what I could do for them. So when I was handed that redundancy notice, I had a warm network of people ready to be converted, and I was happy about it, as you can see. And I did 10 things really on LinkedIn, and no more than those 10 things, and they are the 10 things that saved my ass and put that food on the table. And that is my 10-point plan for LinkedIn success. So there's the story of how this came around. Now, a well-known marketer, entrepreneur, I'm not going to name him, but he did some research. And it was research for the optimum growth on LinkedIn. I'm not sure if you've seen this, but it looks like that. Oh my goodness me. For optimum growth on LinkedIn, you need to do all that. And that made me... this Lyara trying avocado for the first time. That was the first thing she ever eaten, and that is the reaction I have for that, because... But we're not here for optimum growth, are we? I'm not here to get thousands of followers and optimum growth. I'm here to create optimum opportunity. So let's work out why we're all on LinkedIn or on social media. So 1 to 3 of the 10-point plan is context. And the first one is really defining what is success to you. So it's a question you should really ask yourself before you use any marketing channel, but particularly LinkedIn, because you can waste a lot of time. Most people would say success to me is clients, new business, money, essentially. But opportunity is really the currency. I believe Joe Glover posted that on LinkedIn, and it happened just as I was starting my business. So Joe runs the marketing meetup, and he posted about opportunity being the currency. It's more than just about clients, and it stuck with me, that didn't it? It's something I use regularly. So what opportunities to you are important? So I know Sylvia, you mentioned about speaking gigs. So it's not all about new clients, it's about speaking gigs, event invites maybe, event signups, it could be podcasts, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be about new clients. So don't just think, I need business. There's more to LinkedIn than just creating business. It could just be, I want to create friends. That could be your success metric. What friends that leads to, that might be business eventually, but it could just be friends. So the action for me on this one is really write down, put on a post-it note and stick it to your laptop or stick it to your wall or put it on a whiteboard somewhere, is knowing what success is to you. That's the first thing I'd do for the plan for LinkedIn. Obviously, you need to speak to somebody to achieve that point one, as with any marketing plan. But LinkedIn has this function, feature where you can find people by their industry, by their company, by their role, by their location, and it even has a search filter where you can actually just search them people. So you can go on and say, I want to speak to people in the United Kingdom who work for Google, maybe, or work for Linklaters, which is a law firm. So, and then think of the connectors too. Don't just solely think about, right, so for me, I'm a social media manager, so I want to be known to marketing directors or operations directors. I think of people like Penny, who's a web developer or a designer, who could recommend me. They don't offer social media, so I always think, who can connect me to those people as well and network with those people as well. So don't just think target audience being the end, the person who's going to hire you. Think who can connect to those people as well. The action here is, I love doing this part. I love drawing a stick man. I'm terrible at art, but draw a stick man or a face of somebody, give them a name, and create their persona of what industry they work in, what company they work for, what is their job title. Give a character to that person, and that is the person you're creating content for on LinkedIn. That is the character you're trying to speak to. 3, this is the final one of the context pieces. How do you want to be perceived? Now this is a big one for me, because professionally and personally, like how I am perceived is the only thing that's unique. There are so many social media managers out there, but there's only one me. So the perception I create is really, really important, and it is the only thing that's unique. And it's created through every action and interaction. So not just posting, every message you send, every comment you do, every like you leave, everything, as in your everyday life. This is what is your personal brand, essentially. It's how you are perceived by the people you don't know or the people you do know in your network. And the action here is summarize it. I have summarized mine in a sentence. At the top level, this is what I want to be known as. Somebody who knows his stuff on social media but is a good guy. That's it. If you want to delve deeper, it's, being a good guy to me is like down to earth, open, friendly. Somebody wants your business to be a success. That's me as a social media manager. I want your business to be a success, so I help you with your socials. And then that's really important as well. Like, I want to be the type of person you want to work with, but also have a point with. So consider that for yourself. What perception are you trying to create with your LinkedIn activity? And everything you do filters towards that. So they're the 3 contextual points, right? You know what you're trying to achieve. You know the people you need to speak to achieve that. And you know the perception you want to create of yourself, the personal branding element. How do you want to be perceived by other people? And now we need the action to join those 3 points together. So the point 4 to 8 is the action. And you probably know how to do all these things. You definitely do. I'm just going to tell you, sort of, hopefully inspire you and guide you on how you can do them better and save time as well. So, and this is a ladder. So you can do point 4 to 8, or just point 4, or point 4 and 5. The more you put in, the more you get out, essentially. So to achieve that point 1, first off, have a full and optimized profile. It's your personal landing page. It is visible on Google, so if someone searches your name, if someone sees you at an event and they then search your name, they can come across your LinkedIn profile, they can connect with you, and they can then essentially speak to you. I say full and optimized. For me, a full profile is a profile photo, and a profile photo that you're happy and confident with. That's really important. I invest in my profile photo when I set up my business, and it was definitely the best investment I ever made. It's the only photo that I feel confident and comfortable with, and I think that's really, really important. So profile photo, cover photo, headline, about section, call to action. So obviously profile photo is a little photo of you, cover photo across the top, headline, about section, and essentially your profile needs to say what you do, who you do it for, whilst also thinking about that perception you're trying to create and delivering that through your profile. And my tip here is to optimize to one call to action. What do you want people to do when they read your profile? Do you want them to, where does your profile, LinkedIn profile, sit in your customer journey? Do you want them to visit your website to then contact you? Do you want them to just book a meeting with you? Do you want them to sign up for an event? Whatever that may be, ensure your personal landing page, your LinkedIn profile is optimized for that one call to action and it supports what you're trying to achieve overall. 5 is exploring LinkedIn and socializing in comments. LinkedIn is a 24/7 networking event, right? So reframe your thinking of LinkedIn. It's not a social network. It's not an in-person. Let's say it's a sort of in-person, but it's an online networking event, and you can dip in and out as you please. So reframe your thinking when you're going onto LinkedIn, and reframe it as if you're going to an event, an in-person networking event, and it's there whenever you want to dip in and out. Scrolling and commenting on posts is the same as going up to somebody at an in-person event and just saying, "Hi, how are you?" Having a little chat, getting involved in another conversation. So reframe it. Don't think you're sitting there behind a screen, commenting needlessly. You're having productive conversations with people, just as you would at in-person events. And provide value, ask questions, and genuinely just socialise. I don't think there's much more to it than that. Is to share your expertise, show an interest in the other people and ask them questions, and genuinely socialise and get to know people. And then for me, I streamline my exploring of LinkedIn by segmenting my audiences. And what I mean with that is, here's this filter box again. You can go onto LinkedIn. If you know your target audience, so Penny's probably in my target audience for a connector, right? But she's also in the marketing scene in Northampton. So it's people I need to converse with really and socialise with. So what I've done is created a filter that just segments out. So this is just me and Penny at the minute. So you could segment all of us in here and have us on one feed. So instead of going onto LinkedIn on the main feed and scrolling everybody, including ads, company posts, you could literally have a bookmark that says marketing people in Northampton or Cowork Club members. You click on there and it's just content from just those people. So you don't need to listen to the noise of the whole LinkedIn if you don't want to. If you don't have time that day, just go on one of your bookmarks. So you can segment your audiences however you wish to segment them. But that's a really powerful tool that not many people know about. So I'd advise taking a look, segmenting your audiences, who you need to get to know, and scrolling just those people to save some time. Connecting. This is a big mistake that people make, is waiting for connections to come to you. LinkedIn is so powerful. You can literally find your target audience and connect with them and bring them into your network for free. And then your target audience is immediately in your network and they can get to know you. So don't wait. Get proactive and grow your network. It's super important. And for me, quality really does matter. So if they are my target audience, great, I'll connect with them, I'll try and get them into my network. The only other reason I'd say is if I enjoy them or their content. Like if they add a bit of value somewhere else through like entertainment, maybe, but if they're not in my like target audience, relevant network, the relevant people sort of thing, I don't tend to connect with those people. That's just how I am. It doesn't matter how you go about it, but I'm not here to grow followers, I'm not here for optimum growth, I'm not here for a big network, I'm here for a relevant, valuable network. And I have a quarterly refresh of my network, and I do recommend you do that as well, because the amount of content that is on LinkedIn now and social media in general, it's so swamped. If you're seeing content that isn't relevant to you, it's going to waste your time scrolling through that content and looking at it. And with LinkedIn, if you have one first degree connection who isn't necessarily relevant, if they're then interacting with somebody else, their second degree connections can appear in your feed as well. So your feed is becoming swamped by somebody who's irrelevant and then more people who are relevant to what you want to achieve and what you're there for. So have a quarterly refresh of your network. And this is another reason to have a quarterly refresh, because you might go through your network and say, oh, I haven't spoken to that person for a while. Oh, maybe I'll message them and see what they're up to. Relationships, just like in-person events, if you were in an in-person event and you wanted to grab a one-to-one with somebody, you're going to take them off to a little room on the side and have an informal chat, coffee maybe, a bit of a catch-up. Treat that the same as direct message on LinkedIn. You are allowed to message people on LinkedIn. People, I think, are worried that it may come across as, like seedy or whatever it may be. Like, LinkedIn's a safe space to message people. You can do that in the right way. And I tried to normalise messaging somebody to say hello. I did it. This is a head of comms. I've obviously blurred his name out, but this is a head of comms. Admittedly, I do know this fella, but this could be the same as if it was somebody I didn't know, really. Hi, how's things? Big congrats on the recent award win. They posted an award win. Very much enjoyed seeing that on my feed. He complimented me on not trying to sell him something. I mean, how crazy is that? I stood out because I didn't try and sell anything. And yeah, and like I said there, I've made it a bit of a mission of mine to break the cycle of people just trying to sell shit, because just say hello, it's fine. We're just here to build relationships, right? And just saying hello, I couldn't believe how powerful that was, that he complimented me on not trying to sell him something. But, you know, if he's the head of comms, right? So if he ever needed social media, I can guarantee you he'd be popping back in my messages. So as a minimum, what I encourage is messaging your profile viewers, so people who view your profile. You have the ability to see that. The last, I think it's like 10 people on a free LinkedIn profile who's viewed it. Message those people and say, you know, I see you looked at my profile, let me know if I can help with anything, I hope everything's good with you, something like that. The people who engage with your content, message them. Commenters, people who comment, and then your followers. Story about somebody who viewed my profile, it was about, 8 months ago? No, it was longer than that, it was over a year ago. He didn't connect with me, he just viewed my profile, but he was an operations director at a local company. I thought, perfect. I just messaged him, so he didn't connect with me, so I just messaged with him and said, I saw you looked at my profile, saw your company looks great, never really heard of you before, I'm from around here, but I'd never heard of you. He said, I'm on holiday at the minute, Ryan, but I'll message you when I get back. So fine, so he messaged me. After I'd been made redundant, we caught up again. That retainer is now just short of 10 grand I've earned off that client, and we're still going, it's a retainer, so. But that was just from somebody who'd viewed my profile. They didn't even connect with me. So I just, you know, sent a message, said hello, and it's now resulted in a retained client. So it's possible that someone might not connect with you, but if you just reach out and say hello, that it could result in business or an opportunity more generally. I think this is said so often, but no cold selling, you don't need to do it, you really don't, and it's so off-putting. You've probably all received sales messages on LinkedIn, and it's so off-putting. Just be the person that says hello, and you stand out immediately. So that's point 7, and that's a massive one for me. And I've got to point 7, I haven't even mentioned posting. Point 8, posting. Less than, well, the last time I looked at the stats, it was between 3 and 5% of people, UK LinkedIn users, post regularly on LinkedIn. That's insane. So 95% of people don't even post. So immediately, if you post your own content, you're in an elite crew of under 5%, which is crazy. And you can approach content in so many different ways. It's got to work for you. But I do 2 things with my content. It's either getting to know me or how I can help. So it's either about me, my life, what I've got going on, or it's about how I can help a business or a person with their social media. That's it. I don't really think too much beyond that. And I do that through thoughts, expertise, experiences, work, life, whatever that may be. I said you can approach it in so many different ways, your content. But I ask myself this on every post I do. Does it do any of this? So does it show me as a go-to social media manager? If it does, great, I'll post it. Does it show me as a down-to-earth, open, friendly person? Or does it help my target audience be successful on social media? If it does any one of them things, I'll post it. And that is my perception that I'm trying to create back at the start. And I don't think, like I say, you can approach content in so many different ways, but this is mine. Does it help you achieve your goal and create your perception? If so, post it. And my tip here, I've not really said you should spend this amount of time on something, you should do this amount of anything, but this one, block 30 to 60 minutes out on a Friday. Friday, you're in the best mood of the week, right? No doubt about it, we're all happy on Fridays. So your content's going to flow, you're going to do a post. I've put 30 to 60 minutes, you can write a post in 5, I guarantee it. You've had all week to think about ideas or note ideas down. You've got a week coming up that you can look ahead to. So if you're stuck, you can be like, oh, I've got Cowork Club coming up next week, I can post about that. So Friday is good mood, you've had a week, you've got a week, and yeah, it will just work. It just happens. And then you're ready for the next week. You've got 1 or 2 posts ready to go. 9 and 10, tools. I only use 2 tools for my content. And the first one's Trello, project management tool. You may use a different project management tool like Notion or something like that, but organise on Trello. So what I do is manage all of my content through Trello, and I'll show you how that looks. This is my LinkedIn profile. So essentially months, each card is a post. It has, you click on the card, it has words, it has a visual. This is a post about bacon and it did do really well. Yeah, you can see me, essentially that is my Trello board. That's how I organise my content, and it's really, really powerful. I can collate ideas on the go. It's on my app. Note an idea down on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, come back to it Friday and write the content on a Friday. Easily reuse your best posts. So I could take this post and then duplicate that card, put it up here, change the visual on it, make it a video maybe, make it a text only post, whatever it may be, but you'll have some great performing content here, say you've published in January, that you should then publish again in June or July, whenever you want to publish it. Just duplicate the card and you can go again with it. So it's so easy to duplicate content, reuse it and repurpose your best performing posts. And you can also collaborate on Trello. You can invite somebody else. I think it's great to buddy up, I really do. So I'm very fortunate that my wife is a marketeer, so she reads all of my LinkedIn content. If you have someone close by you can buddy up with, add them to your Trello or do a joint Trello and ask them to check your posts and give you a second opinion. I think that's really powerful. So if you do have anyone in your network, if not, it's an initiative for the Cowork Club to buddy up and do LinkedIn posts together. I think it really helped. Designers do not kill me, but I use Canva. I do use Canva. Essentially, you can use any design platform, right? Illustrator, whatever, Photoshop, but I use Canva. Add some visual spice to your posts, because posts with visuals perform better, more or less. And it also makes repurposing content easier. So like I just said then, if I've done an image post, wording with an image 6 months ago, I might make that into a carousel PDF with multiple images in 6 months' time. I then might do that as a video in another 6 months' time. So it makes repurposing content easier if you have visuals. And the visuals I'd create as a minimum would be a title page and a carousel template. So here's mine, that's a title page. Just has a bit of information on it essentially. A carousel, this is essentially me saying to my audience, here's what I do, but it looks much better designed as a carousel rather than a load of text. So they're the two as a minimum. You don't need Canva for this, but creating a library of images, like, so good. Even like for presentations, I've got a library of images that I paid a photographer to take of me. I use them on my LinkedIn posts to create that perception, but I also use them in presentations, which is great. So I'd advise creating a bank of images, working with a photographer on those, and then video. LinkedIn is pushing video. So if you can create video, go for it. I've been creating some video recently with my little girl and me and my work and stuff, and they've gone really well. So LinkedIn is pushing video. So if you have the ability to create video, do so. Recap of the 10 steps. What is your definition of success? So understand what you're trying to achieve. Who do you need to speak to achieve that? That big one. I really like that one. I really think it's important. How do you want to be perceived? Have a full and optimized profile. Explore and socialize in comments like you're at a networking event in person. Connect with relevant people at that networking event. Bring them into your network. Start conversations in DMs. Say hello. Stop trying to sell things. Just say hello to somebody. You don't know where it could lead to. Become in that elite club of under 5% and post your own content. Organise that content and organise yourself on Trello and then create on Canva. Those are the 10 steps I'd advise. And time, I don't think, is the issue, right? It's about what you do with the time that you have, because everyone definitely has some time. Look, this optimum growth thing, that's not happening. 17 comments a day. I don't even think I speak to my wife 17 times a day. Like, that is not happening. 3 to 5 videos a week, okay. But we're not here from optimum growth, are we? This is what I try, and I say try because I don't do this every week. I don't. I'm human. I'm a business owner. I have other things to do. So there are some weeks where I don't really do any of it, and that's fine. But it's about doing. I think it's about doing, like, just something. Even if you've not got time to create a post, but you should have, because you've got that 30, 60 minutes on a Friday. If you haven't, just message somebody. Just pop a message to me or to yourselves or whoever, Penny or Joe, whatever. Just pop a message to somebody relevant and say hello, and that could make all the difference. And that's a bit of activity, right? So, or just connect with somebody new. So yeah, that's what I try and do on a weekly basis, and then I reflect on what I'm trying to achieve every month. Am I achieving it? Am I moving the needle at all on what I'm trying to achieve? Quarterly refresh of my network, and then I review my whole plan, like my content I'm creating every half a year, to see where I'm at. But the key thing, right, for me when I was employed, it was don't wait until your boss makes you redundant to post or be active on LinkedIn. And for most of us here as business owners, it's don't wait until you need your next client. It's not about, getting to that point where you're desperate for a client. No, I need to post on LinkedIn. Just start today. Like, there's no better time. So a challenge for everybody here. Everyone loves a challenge. Post on LinkedIn about today's Cowork Club. There's some prompts. I've written half the post for you. But you could use some of those prompts if you wanted to create a post for LinkedIn about Cowork Club, which I think could create good posts. Do you want to take a photo? Yes. Go for it. Take a picture or a few pictures of us, you, the cake, the space, all of the above. Take your pick. At least one tag, so tag at least one personal company. So it could be the Cowork Club company page, could be the sponsors, Digital Northants, Penny Joe, me, the person next to you, or all of the above. At least one tag. All set? We can do that challenge, can't we? And I don't mean to have fun, but LinkedIn, right? You've got to enjoy it, right? If you don't enjoy it, you won't do it. So create content that you enjoy. Do things that you enjoy. Have conversations that you like being involved in. Don't force it. If it's not enjoyable, you'll just stop doing it. So whatever you do, enjoy it. I enjoy making those little videos, so that's what I started doing. They're time consuming, but I enjoy them. I don't they do help my business for sure. I've skipped along there. I've messed that up by pressing that. But yeah, have fun on it, enjoy it. And then the last one is literally just ask me anything. Sorry, I've messed that right up, haven't I?
Fine, keep talking.
The last slide is literally just ask me anything. Any questions, I'm happy to answer. I'm going to block my diary out a little bit this afternoon, so I'm happy to spend some time one-to-one. If you want me to look at your profile, I would do. If you want some advice on whatever it may be related to LinkedIn, I'm happy, I'm here. So yeah, questions are welcome now in the group if you have any.